I worked in the Marine Hospital in Vineyard Haven for a year or two after high school. I was expecting to go into the Army before too long, so needed something to do in the meantime. The war was on, and we had servicemen in the hospital. We had the Beacon Hill Army station here, and the Coast Guard station was here, and the air base had sailors here. And so that was covering all those. The patients were all in the main building. The building in front, there was 4 major wards, 2 downstairs and 2 upstairs. One of the downstairs wards had 4, maybe 5 permanent old-timers in there that were there for the rest of their lives. So they were all together in one ward. And there was a building in back of it that had quarters in it for some of the help. It was 2 stories. It had maybe half a dozen bedrooms. I had a room on the 2nd floor. The operating room was in the brick building in the back of the front building, and there was a difference in the floor levels. And there was a ramp running down from the patient's area to the operating room area. And when you took somebody to the operating room, it was really tricky getting rolling them down that ramp without it getting away from you. That was a little primitive, but it was where all the technical, more modern equipment was. The operating room, the x-ray room, and the little laboratory, and the elevator, and the kitchen, and the dining rooms were in that part. The big part, the front, was just patient wards and offices. As you go in the front door, the business office was on the left, and the doctor's office was on the right, the big sort of grand rooms. This was the doctor's office, the chief medical officer's headquarters. It was very grand. The woodwork was all varnished and polished, and the floor was very slick at the time. Dr. Ralph Mitchell, he was here before the war. Very nice big desk and bookcases, and everything was in nice condition.
Across the hallway.
This was the business office. Chief records man and an assistant, a woman who worked. There's 2 people who worked in here. And the assistant was named Ella Alf. She just lived right around the corner here.
So this room was filled with file cabinets?
Yeah. Desks and cabinets. Very utilitarian. Big sort of grand rooms, high ceilings, and tremendous stairway that looks like Tara from Gone with the Wind. There were a lot of windows. They were bright and airy, but difficult to heat. There was a tremendous big coal furnace down in the basement. Of course, being an orderly, we had to do a little of everything, because if the night watchman was off, we did the night watchman's job. If the engineer had a day off, we fired the furnace. And one time, both the cook and the assistant had to be away for the evening meal, so I had to handle feeding everybody. You got to do a little of everything there. That was sort of the interesting part of the job. You got to do a little very simple laboratory work. Doctor taught me how to do a white blood cell count, for possible appendicitis cases and things like that. Of course, it was very crude. I'm shocked that they ever paid any attention to the results I got in that lab. And we run the x-ray machine, too. There was no x-ray technician there. There was a card attached to the machine with steps, 1, 2, 3, what you do, how do you operate the thing. But I think the surgery was done according to the way they were supposed to do them at the time. But they had everything that was essential. And of course, if anything really serious happened, they were shipped off to Quonset Point. As I said, there are half a dozen old seafaring men there. They're permanently, disabled guys. There was one man named Svensson, Anton Svensson, his name was. He was a big old grouch, but if he liked you, it was fine. I got along with him pretty good. I used to sneak him extra stuff that he needed. So I go along with him. He used a little building down the edge of the lagoon that's there now at the end of Skiff Avenue. He used to use that for a shop, and he made stuff in it. He was a beat-up seaman. He had great difficulty walking. His legs were very bad, but he could manage with 2 canes. Struggled down there and up again all by himself. Fell down a few times, but he always insisted on getting himself up. He made a lot of boxes. He gave me one of the boxes he made, a little sea chest, miniature sea chest. He gave the box to me because I gave him an order for one for my mother, and so he made one for me too while he was at it. Inside the box, on the cover, he made a picture. His carpentry is better than his oil painting. The handles on the end are kind of interesting. And the top is inlaid, too, with that pattern in there. I don't know how he had tools fine enough to do that kind of work.